right now that they're gonna go and call security to escort me outside.
I am now outside. This is
If you've ever had a panic attack in public and thought, you know what will make this better? A stranger shrieking about products and prices in my left ear. Then boy, do I have a TikTok creator for you. Farrah Shams has 2.2 million followers and enough confidence to shout, "Welcome to Turkey."
Welcome to Turkey.
Like she's the Minister of Cosmetic Procedures. But is she a comedic genius or a menace to society? Or just a Poundland philosopher with a megaphone and zero self-awareness?
Welcome to Poundland.
These are the important questions that we must ask ourselves, because sometimes there is a fine line between confidence and chaos. And then there's Farrah Shams, who duct taped a megaphone to that line and screamed through it in the middle of a Poundland.
Poundland is no longer the land of pounds.
Let's dig in.
Okay.
At first glance, Farrah seems like any other chaotic TikTok personality.
Bombastic side eye.
But hang around long enough and you'll realize that she's not just loud, she's aggressively insistent about it. Farrah has a whole entire series where she storms into Poundland and dramatically realizes that nothing actually costs a pound.
Poundland? Huh? Why is there an additional 25p? £5 in Poundland! Poundland, yeah? Poundland! And it's £3.50! I'm in Poundland! I've come to Poundland thinking it's cheaper. Why is it £10 in Poundland, Rishi?
She's essentially the Gordon Ramsay of budget shopping, except instead of yelling about raw chicken, she's yelling about barcodes. This is the one place where pricing is supposed to be simple, until Farrah shows up with a camera, a loud voice, and questions.
Exhibit A! I haven't even stepped 5 meters into the store and look! £1.25! This does not look like a pound! Is it illegal?
Yeah, we are not allowed to do this.
£6? Security? Oh, I'm doing so many illegal activities right now that they're gonna go and call security to escort me outside.
To be fair, complaining that everything is not a pound is a relatable hill to die on. But Farrah doesn't just die on that hill. She builds a whole ass stadium on it and books herself as a halftime show.
And listen, she's not wrong.
I mean, like, inflation is criminal. But the execution though, honey? Come on.
Social anxiety does not exist.
She yells like she's leading a protest, but the only crowd she's rallying are just pensioners trying to buy their sponge cake in peace. This is where the irony really peaks.
What is social anxiety? You have to fight it because it will be there no matter what.
She's filming a series called How to Beat Social Anxiety.
Lesson number 1 on how to get rid of social anxiety.
But her strategy involves nothing except for aggressively yelling at strangers in public. Farrah's advice seems to be, just become the problem you fear. It's like the equivalent of treating a fear of heights like base jumping into traffic. What about the other cars that may hit you?
My God.
It's just another one of her
Helpful series.
I'll never understand why she's trying so hard to be the embodiment of a fire alarm. She does have a lot of confidence, okay? She walks into crowds and screams like someone who just gave a TED Talk on crack.
So when did your anxiety start?
Oh, well, it started when a stranger screamed in my face while I was holding a Tesco meal deal.
And while a part of me admires the guts it takes to do that, this is less about anxiety and more about everybody else developing a new phobia called Farrah Shams. She says it's about inspiring others, but inspiring others to do what?
Evacuate?
Guys, I'm so angry, yeah?
So, you know, this is where things go from cringe to yikes.
Oh my God.
Farrah's social experiments, aka harassment, include marching up to unsuspecting couples and announcing one of them as her new spouse. And I'll give you a hint, it's usually the man.
This is This is my husband.
No, this is not husband.
My husband. You're my husband.
No.
Yeah. Husband.
I think no, sorry.
You're my husband. But you're my husband. Please. Guys, I need a husband.
Because nothing says rom-com energy like third wheeling with a complete stranger and your front-facing camera.
I do not want to comment.
And the comedy, I mean, it's not even bad, it's confused. Like, is the joke supposed to be the discomfort, or is that just kind of like how she flirts?
I got a bell! I predict basically, he doesn't care.
Man, what in the intrusive thoughts becoming content is this? The more that I dove into her TikTok page, the more I realized that Farrah is the human embodiment of unstable Wi-Fi. Loud, disruptive, and ruining all of our relationships.
To Apple, where once upon a time they used to gift us with wired headphones. I am now outside because I was escorted out.
And like, yes, society is socially awkward and repressed. But there's a line between making a point and making people reconsider whether or not they want to leave their house.
I love chocolate!
In one clip, she gets called out by security for her usual volume crimes. If that were me, I would have just left instantly, okay? I don't want to have to deal with that. But in her mind, she thought, you know what? Let me see if I can make this into content. I'm gonna tell him that I can leave if he gives me a high five.
High five and I'm gonna go. If you high five me, I'll leave. High five and I'll go right now.
No, for my own conscience, because I want to make sure that I can leave knowing that he doesn't actually hate me. He was just doing his job. It's giving kindergarten conflict resolution. She's socially knocking over a display of wine bottles and then yelling, teamwork.
Social anxiety literally does not exist. Look. See? People don't just get anxiety in person. People get scared sending voice notes. So I use this app which helps me change my voice.
It's a textbook example of performative chaos. Disrupt, deflect, dip. And here we have Farrah in her natural habitat.
Welcome to Apple, where for the last 10 years they have been releasing the exact same model iPhone.
She's confronting pricing like she's auditioning for the role of Angry Echo in a dystopian reboot of Planet Earth. Yelling about overpriced products like she's on a mission from God and Steve Jobs just personally scammed her.
Welcome to Apple, where they will rob you for your money.
Honestly,
Valid.
but come on, girl. Some of us are just trying to check if we can afford a charging cable, not survive an auditory boss fight. It's like she took a genuine consumer gripe and then delivered it through the speakers at Coachella. Instead of screaming, an idea might be to file a consumer complaint and then get your followers to back you up. But you must not want actual impact. If she yells 1,200 pounds for a phone one more time, Tim Cooks himself is gonna materialize and throw a charging cable at her head. Why does she act like every mild social interaction is a Mr. Beast challenge? Bro is just trying to finish a shift, and now he's getting emotionally blackmailed into giving a bro 5.
They have released.
Now this is where I draw the line.
I need to know whose idea it was to create paper straws.
When they have to turn the nigga guts into soup.
Look, public transport is already its own special brand of purgatory. Adding a spontaneous Farrah Shams performance in the mix is like getting surprise glitter in your eye. Sparkly, yes, but mostly painful and annoying and uncomfortable and not worth it at all. Because at that point, you're not just riding a bus anymore. One thing you know, you're on that bus at 5 a.m. in the morning, tired as all hell, miserable as all hell, cannot wait to get over with your 12-hour shift that you're on your way to. And then next you're in an unsanctioned flash mob hosted by somebody who thinks that volume equals validation. Anyone who's ever experienced the misfortune of public transport meltdowns will know there is a special place in hell for people who wreak havoc in the back of buses. And Farrah is the loudest demon in the group chat. It's not even edgy. It's not empowering. It's just annoying. And finally, my personal favorite, her comments section. She clearly filters her TikTok comments harder than a 2016 Instagram post. Her comments literally look like a self-curated applause reel. But go to Instagram, oh baby, it's open mic night. And you know what really pissed me off? Someone once calmly commented, "That's a bit annoying. I get a bit stressed when people scream in public or on planes." Super innocuous, super valid, and I'm sure 99.9% of the people that ever are around Farrah Shams can relate. And do you know what this girl said?
I felt annoyed viewing your profile. Not everything can please us.
The pettiness jumped out, and for no reason. There are so many worse comments on there, but that's the one you decide to be hateful towards? And she was kind enough to say a bit. Girl, I wouldn't be able to control these hands if I were around you myself. Let this be a reminder that tightly moderated comment sections does not mean universal approval. Don't be fooled. It just means that you've got very fast fingers and a ban list longer than your content calendar. It still pisses me off. This is not the PR-trained diplomatic energy of someone navigating public feedback. This is the energy of someone flipping off a Yelp review with a hand-painted sign. Like, it's not witty, it's just rude.
What do we hate? Answers!
This clip kind of made sense to me.
It's kind of poetic.
Of course, she vibes best with the only demographic that can properly match her energy. And of course, it's the one that's not yet legally allowed to drive. There's something oddly fitting about it. And look, I get it. Farrah's good at complaining, and you know what?
Same girl.
But instead of channeling that power into change, she weaponizes it into content that just drains public energy and the public's ears like a cursed Bluetooth speaker.
You want to charge me 50p to use the toilet? I want to know why.
And sometimes she has a point, but she's so loud
Welcome to Costco. Welcome.
that the point itself gets evicted. She says she's beating social anxiety.
Oh my gosh! Everything on this menu looks delicious! And that is another way you can get rid of your social anxiety.
But at what cost? Public peace?
Hi! Wave at the camera!
The collective sanity of everyone within a 30-meter radius?
Ah! Ah! Who made this steak? Tell me who made this steak!
Well, I guess she's not evil, and she's not dangerous. She's just the human version of accidentally opening TikTok on full volume in a silent room.
And then there was light. Let there be light. No. Am I not allowed? Oh. Oh. Oh.
Harmless, but spiritually scarring. And you know what? Probably secretly not an idol you'd really want to meet.
Ah! Ah! Oh my god, I'm dying! No! No! God! Help! Help! I'm dying! Why? Is nobody helping me? Why? Help! I'm dying! Just... We're all dying!
I genuinely don't understand why.
I want to make history.
And while some of Farrah's messages actually make sense, like prices are too high, customer service can be garbage, and social anxiety genuinely sucks ass. But she's gotta stop delivering it all with a nuance of cartoon car crash. Like, her volume doesn't amplify her message. It never does. It erases it.
I have been waiting for 30 minutes. I haven't got time. Where is my food? Where is my food?
Like, girl, please. For the love of bus drivers, Apple Store employees, and you know what? All employees for that matter. And you know what? All of the public. Turn the volume down. Personally scam. I did just spit. But Farrah